Peace, power, and prosperity. Peace, power, and prosperity. I'm here with the great chairman, Kwame Che Shakur. Hey, I appreciate you very much for coming here to the Malcolm X Academy / Charles Beasley Center. A couple of brothers, comrades that worked hard and diligent. Well, specifically Charles Beasley, who worked hard and diligent here in this city and who helped lay a foundation for us here as community movement builders, Dallas. So we thank you for coming here and visiting us, and just kind of giving your perspective. First off, just for those that may not know, uh, please tell us the name of your organization.
uh, Black Liberation Party. In our space is Black Liberation Circle. We are a revolutionary organization that's based on scientific socialism, uh, similar to the Black Panther Party, but the part with the Black Panther Party on a number of issues. Uh, but yeah, we just follow on the legacy of a lot of our ancestors from the past.
Absolutely. We appreciate you for your work that you're doing around the country. You travel quite a bit. So I remember our last conversation that we had in the city of Indianapolis. We had a pretty good conversation in Indianapolis. He was kind of giving us a forecast, and I would tell you that a lot of what you stated absolutely turned out to be accurate. So when I had the chance and opportunity, when I reached out to you and asked for this, I wanted to know, as far as what's going on here in this country with Trump, the Democrats, the liberals, the alt right, the conservatives, the MAGAs, even the revolutionaries. How do you see it, and what do you see may happen here in the future?
Well, it's kind of scary witness it unfold because it's like we was already foreseeing a lot of this stuff. I know me and you spoke last time, and I was talking about how they about to start going after the Democratic Party.
Mm.
They're gonna start putting them in the concentration camps and stuff, and now we see the indictment of Comey, Letitia James. They talking about bringing a lot more indictments against the Democratic Party. Uh, but this is something that is just a reflection of history that fascists do. They go after their political rivals, especially the ones that's within the state, and they eliminate them. You know what I mean? And they eliminate all political rivals. And you see now that they're pushing, if you're a part of Antifa, which is not an organization, it's just saying that you anti-fascist. You know what I mean? And many of the people in this country are anti-fascist. You know what I mean? So this gives a blanket indictment of anybody that stands up against this regime. They're trying to label transgenders terrorists now, just because you was born whatever way you was born. So this is about to be a very heavy hand that's coming down on the country. They funded ICE with even up to warheads. Like, why would you give like the immigration department warheads? You know what I mean? If you don't plan on utilizing them on a particular target. You know what I mean? So we about to see in the next year a very aggressive ness of this U.S. Settler colonial empire targeting its internal enemies within. And Trump and Hegseth, all of them has been giving a lot of speeches recently speaking about their main goal is to eliminate the enemy within. This ain't just rhetoric. This is how fascism sees the world that it has to make sure it paves the way by clearing out everything within its own internal nation in order to consolidate fascism here, and that's what we're saying.
My study of Nazi Germany um, kind of showed me kind of similar parallels in that the National Socialist movement pretty much did the same thing with, I guess, more left leaning organizations in Nazi Germany, particularly between the time frame of 1926 up until 1933. You see this kind of activity. They had I think at one particular point, they had the Night of the Long Knives, where they took out the rivals, even within the brown shirts. It was an internal thing, but even more so, they got rid of left leaning organizations and put them in concentrations. And one particular one called Dachau was one where the original so-called political adjutants were placed because of their political disagreements, and very much so parallel to kind of what we're seeing here. Very much so the early onset of it. I guess what my question to you is that you clearly stated more so what the problems are, just in general. Obviously cautiously, what do you think some of the solutions are to properly deal with this particular issue?
Well, we got to get over this belief that we can march and protest this away. Like we had to be honest with ourselves. Like fascism ain't gonna leave by just being voted out or being marched out or protested out. It's gonna have to be defeated on the battlefield, and it's gonna have to become very apparent to the population here that the mass movement has to be led by revolutionaries, and it has to be led by revolutionaries with the correct political ideological analysis. The difference between Nazi Germany and over here in the United States, this is a settler colonial. This is a settler colonial power. That's very different from Germany, which wasn't a settler colonial power internally within Germany itself. Did it pursue settler colonial policies when the Nazis came to power? Most definitely. That was one of the reasons why they was pushing for Lebensraum, living space. Is because they wanted to expand Greater Germany. So you'll see reflections of it, but the problem here is that in the United States, dealing with the revolutionary left, there's been too much of a focus on the class struggle, and not more of a focus on the anti-colonial struggle. So this has to be led by colonized people. And this ain't about just overthrowing the dictatorship of the proletariat. Dictatorship of the bourgeoisie, the billionaire class. This is about getting rid of that power, but also, fighting for decolonialization of the whole empire as a whole. Fighting for self-determination, fighting for land back, because it was the land that was stolen. This is a land question in the United States. This is a land of the people that was dispossessed over here in the United States and then carried out and built an empire around this, like Puerto Rico, Guam, Virgin Islands, and the Philippines, Alaska, Hawaii, and many other different colonial pursuits that was carried out under this manifest destiny. And we see a reassertion of manifest destiny. This is fundamentally a settler colonial ideology. It comes from the 1800s, and they don't have no problem speaking about this anymore. We just saw the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and one of the things that he would go around to the campuses when they were confronted with white people being immigrants, he would correct them. He was like, "Look, we're not immigrants. We're settlers. We're settlers." And I think this is an important thing that the radical left has to come to terms with. You can't defeat something if you don't understand what you're fighting against, and they're fighting against something that comes from a settler colonial foundation that has always been this country. We've just seen in the last 60 years with the civil rights movement, it made us believe that we were integrating into a system, but you can't be integrated into a system that does not recognize your full humanity. And this is what this is a backlash against the civil rights. This is a backlash against assimilationism. Uh, he's trying to even do away with all the people of black faces within different parts of the government and power. He wants to return to a white nation state, a white ethno nation state. Uh, uh, and I think this is important for us to understand because we can't defeat this if we don't even understand what we fighting against. And we're fighting against the essence of what the United States is. It's a settler colonial power. So this is a different type of struggle, and colonized people have to be at the forefront of leading this, but they won't be able to properly confront this if we just keep on coming at this with a Eurocentric analysis.
Mm, mm. Well, I tell you, we appreciate you very much so for giving us this strong analysis, and we promise to do our homework the next time we get a chance to have a conversation. Yeah, so outside of that, peace, power, and prosperity. You can do us a big favor: like, share, subscribe to the channel. We the only channel, or one of the few channels, that would bring this type of grassroots conversation live and direct. And we appreciate you, Chairman. Look up his organization. If you're not familiar with his work, he's doing great works around this country and really around the world. Just putting the community first, putting the people first. And so we thank you for this opportunity. Peace, power, and prosperity.